what I was thinking about was mitochondria and cholesterol. And I was in the shower earlier and I was like, mitochondria and cholesterol are like best friends. And the reason being is because, well, mitochondria powerhouse the cell, number one, first and foremost. They have their own DNA, they can replicate themselves, and they regulate something called epigenetics, which epi is upon the gene genetics. So mitochondria, if you can make more of them, talk sweetly to them every day, go in the sun, eat the protein, eat the amino acids, get the rest, do things that bring you joy and cut out things that drain you. Mitochondria can override the nuclear genome, which is amazing, incredible. So I was thinking about cholesterol too, is cholesterol is an imperative part of every single cell membrane is a lipid bilayer, fat membrane, fats, lipids, oils, coconut oils, avocado oils, olive oil, right? Egg yolks, animal proteins also have a lot of fat, healthy fats, to help build the structure of the cell. When the cell doesn't have its membrane, a strong membrane, it's like going camping with a tent that has a hole in it and there's a rainstorm coming. So like you are camping in the middle of the night and boom, it starts pouring. And you don't just keep sleeping. You wake up and it's like, oh my God, it's chaos, right? Because there's water in the tent, everything's getting wet. It's the middle of the night, I'm tired. It's chaos. And that's what happens when the cell doesn't have what it needs. So cholesterol is embedded inside of the membrane. You can look this up. I really encourage you always, because this channel is just for entertainment. So go do your own research, please. Cholesterol is embedded in the membrane. One of its biggest responsibilities is structural support. It's also responsible for membrane fluidity, to be fluid and flexible. So where and what place at what age do we tend to lose flexibility? Think about the dehydrated state, okay? This rubber band right here, okay, is flexible. What do you know about a baby? Babies, you can bend them all around, you can throw them up and down, they basically bounce back up off the floor. They are so resilient, they're fluid, they're flexible, just like this rubber band. Now as we get older, babies also contain what? A lot of collagen and hella mitochondria. Brown fat, they are brown fat energetic machines, babies are. And then as we get older or into a dehydrated state, we stretch this rubber band out. And once it's stretched out, it lacks rigidity. Like it can still bend a little bit, of course, right? But it lacks rigidity. Now, if I put this under a lot of pressure, it can break easier, right? My resilience is lowered. As we age or come under disease state, this is what happens. It's just like a rubber band, right? And why are we fearing cholesterol? Cholesterol is so important. So why are mitochondria and cholesterol best friends? This is like just to interrupt, like, it's just my favorite topic to talk about in the whole world. But mitochondria, right? They are you, okay? This is the tent that we went camping in, and then this is you, mitochondria. And when the tent is disturbed, it doesn't have what it needs, doesn't have enough fat, it fears its own biology, right? What do we know? Like cholesterol, the statin industry is the highest money-making industry, right? It profits off of fear, okay? Body doesn't like fear. We're either in fear and love, like A Course in Miracles says. We're either fighting or flighting or rest and digesting. It's better to be rest and digesting for long periods of time, short sprints of stress, and then we need to be in a recovery state. But when we don't have what we need, the energy is like oozing out into the wrong places instead of focusing on structural support, right? Immune function. I'll focus on immune function. If I'm not if the tent is fully covering me from this rainstorm, I am just gonna keep on sleeping through the night. Boom, a baby. That rainwater, it's just like a sound machine. I don't camp because I don't really like bugs, but you know, you get the story. Like, keep it simple. And what I was reading, I had pulled up a paper earlier today because I was curious about this, and it was saying, so cholesterol, dysfunction with cholesterol. Oh, every time we communicate with the mitochondria, we are training our cholesterol to work better. You know, a lot of people are like, they're afraid of it, right? I go to the doctor and my cholesterol levels are not good, right? Well, it's not necessarily the fuel. I don't like, if you can imagine this, right? Because cholesterol, it's about structural support. So it's more about the functioning of the engine rather than the fuel that I'm putting into the car, right? Because the cell, like, we live for so long, right? A lot of the issues we have, it's like having a car sitting in your driveway for 50 years that you haven't changed the oil, the tires are flat, and you know, you haven't turned it on to run it like it should be, right? So we need to train the car. We need to change the oil, pump the tire, change the tires, so that way we can get everything working better. That's what the body is, a lot of these things. So I pulled up the paper, it was a molecular biology journal, and it was saying that cholesterol dysfunction leads to non-alcoholic liver disorders, cancer, growths, oncogenesis, neurodegenerative diseases, and different kind of pathologies. So we always just want to be focusing on the powerhouse of the cell, because, you know, they are producing a majority of the energy. Why, you know, so why do they call it powerhouse of the cell? If you don't know, okay, because we can produce energy in a different part of the cell, but it's very inefficient, and it's a pathway that a lot of cancer cells choose to up and over regulate, a pathway called glycolysis. It's an energy production without the presence of oxygen. Mitochondria powers the cell because they communicate with the environment through oxygen. Glycolysis works in the cytoplasm. They call it cytoplasm of the cell, the middle amidst the goo, and it produces $2. I'm going to call them dollars, ATP, okay? When we're doing energy in the mitochondria, around 32, and then, oh my gosh, then you populate more mitochondria through going to the sunlight, eating your protein, getting the rest, being nice to yourself, and you can make all this money, all this energetic ATP. But a lot of us, we're just starving. Again, a lot of it comes from the fear of cholesterol, not wanting to eat fats. And I get it, you know, it's been a long time. You know, we tell ourselves stories, and then we believe the stories, and they don't always serve us. So it's time to let go and embrace the light. You know, when we have this weight gain in the midsection, we are under stress, duress, we are, you know, somewhat being challenged by the darkness, right? Gaining weight in the midsection, my circadian rhythm's being thrown off, my melatonin levels are being thrown off. I'm in this cycle of insulin resistance, light resistance. How I get back in there, again, the sunlight is free. It's free. And if it wasn't, I would give all my money away to be in it. But it trains our mitochondria, it trains our cholesterol, it trains our liver, it trains our brain, our kidneys, it trains everything. We produce the most melatonin in the sunlight. I'm just so passionate about this. I can't even stop thinking about it. I try to go take a peaceful shower, and I'm just like, cholesterol, mitochondria, you know? And it's just beautiful, because it just, I just love, can't explain it. I can't explain it. These are little love letters. I just don't want to see you struggle, to tell you the truth. I just think the world would be a better place if everyone's mitochondria was working really well. The world would be a much better place. A few cards. Stillness is a declaration of trust. Into the sunlight, to be still, to relax the body, to practice relaxing and opening up and letting the light, you take a deep breath and you just let the light come so deep into you. And it's hard to relax when we're like addicted to stress. We're addicted to this tension that we feel in the body. When you go in the sunlight, it's like putting on a warm pair of pants. It's like, it's hard not to relax when you go into the sun, but it's just a practice. Leave it. It's time to walk away. Why so much resistance? Take a step back and keep the door open. And the last one is let it touch you. Stillness is a declaration of trust is one of my favorite quotes of this deck, probably because to be still, they have the two sides of the autonomic nervous system. We have fight or flight. Obviously, that's not still. And then we have rest or digest. And this balance we lose as we age, right? The rubber band, flexibility, rigidity. And to be still is like the deepest form of trust that you could possibly develop, and then also share with people. Is like we share hormones with people. So a lot of times people tell me, you're so calm, people feel your mitochondria, they feel your inner peace. And Einstein said, he said space-time is bent in the presence of energy and matter. And what did we just talk about? Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, is the place where your energy and your matter is densified. The light is oozing from you. Okay, what does it mean to have the powerhouse of the cell working? Okay, there's energy coming off of you. Touch your forehead, that temperature, that's your mitochondria. That's the energy, that's the powerhouse of the cell that's working, bumping, grooving. So if you struggle with resistance, if you struggle with your weight, if you struggle with your mindset, if you struggle to eat whole foods and nutrient-dense foods, the sunlight is one of the best places to start. I was working so hard so many years ago. I was going to the gym. I was eating the right foods. I did have a Ben and Jerry's addiction, that hot fudge brownie. But once I started going into the sun, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have to work as hard as I thought that I did. Take a step back is one of our cards, and let it be simple. Walk away. That one of our other cards is let it leave it. It's time to walk away. Leave the fact that that you think it has to be difficult. It doesn't have to be as difficult. Or let it be simple. I always think there's 1 million people in the world. You could really do anything that you want. People do anything that they want all the time. So I'm gonna go to sleep, but I do hope that you got something from this, and there's definitely gonna be more to come. Always thinking about this stuff. So if you're new here, thanks for hanging out. If you're old here, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching and supporting. And yeah, I will catch you next time.